If you heard news or stories about new treatments coming up for certain diseases or drug formulation for certain diseases, and you wonder why they are never being used in the real world, then this video will provide you with some answers. The answer is 17 years. But what's the question? This was the title of a paper published a few years back, which looked at how there's a big gap between a drug formulation being researched and developed and it being actually used by various healthcare providers. So today's video is going to be more about why there's a big gap between a new treatment being developed and actually being put out to the market. So the first delay happens within drug discovery to drug launch. Now, in very simple terms, whenever a new drug is formed, it goes through various testing phases so that it's safe and it does what it's supposed to do. So the first phase is basically an animal or a lab study where researchers would use that newly developed formulation on lab animals. Then eventually it goes into the second phase, which is basically the drug being tested out on human beings. And the third phase is the drug actually being passed by the drug enforcement agency. So for example, FDA in the US, Health Canada within Canada. Now within the process, there may be a lot of back and forth within the pharmaceutical company and the regulatory government organization, and just to make sure that the data that they're looking at is accurate and convey all of those things. Even when the drug has been passed to be marketed, or I would say prescribed, the drug enforcement agencies still keep a tab on it just to make sure how people are responding, how it is being prescribed, as well as if there are any warning labels that need to go with drugs. Now, it took me around a minute or two to explain this to you guys, but it actually, the whole process takes 10 to 15 years. So that's a lot of time frame. And what usually a lot of channels or media outlets do is that they report when the drug is actually in the research or development phase, when it's actually getting tested on people, and then we'll have a new news come out. Oh, this is a new drug, this is a new invention. Yes, but then there needs to be more testing done. There's a couple of years of work that needs to be done so the drug can be safely marketed. The second delay that happens is within the guideline publication and translating into actual practice, meaning that whenever a new drug is developed and is supposed to be marketed, the regulatory medical bodies, so for example, Indian Medical Association within India, will inform all the physicians that this is how the drug needs to be used. But funny part is it also exists a gap in terms of when the guidelines are published and when the drug is actually being prescribed. And that gap could be anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Now, let's talk about numbers. I want to bring your attention to this data set published from Hong Kong by University Grants Committee. It's a big report. I'll link it down in the description if you want to look at it. But basically, what was more important for us within the report was the time frame that it takes from actual drug discovery to actually using that drug in real world. And you'll be surprised by these numbers. Now, the research to impact, meaning again, drug discovery to actually the drug being out in the market, patients using it in clinical medicine, is more than 12 years. The research to result impact in dentistry is 19 years. So say if you're a dental student watching this, you might be reading, oh, there's a new treatment of line that we can try on our patients, but that might not be even available until the next 20 years. Research in nursing and rehab science might take 13.86 years just to come into practice. If you are a healthcare provider watching this, talk to your regulatory body if you can, but really understand that we as healthcare providers need to shorten this gap so that clients or patients can actually benefit from these, and we are saving more lives, because eventually that's our goal. Now, what's the point of the video? So the big takeaway that you can grab from this video is understanding that the research to impact time frame of a drug is pretty big. It can take anywhere from 10 to 20 years. So make sure you stay informed and don't be fooled by the media outlets or other individuals who would promote certain XYZ drug, but because now you understand how a drug is actually made, how long of a process it is, right? Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you guys